Regis, firstly, is everyone well? I mean, the first question was, is there was a lot of illness amongst the staff players last week?
They seem okay, but it's still unpredictable. But right now they are okay. Yeah.
No other injuries, nothing to worry about in that respect?
So far, no.
You were saying at the end of the game last weekend about Luke, his 12th man, your 12th man is important to your team. You got him back into the team last weekend. Is it your view now that now Luke's back in, he stays in the starting 11?
We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. It's I repeat, it's very important to have in different areas in the squad to have many strong options, and we'll have 5 games until the 4th of January. So we have to manage the full squad, and if we have many options, it's better for me, it's better for the team. I think it's better for the players because they know that they can't play at the highest level every time, so they need the support, and if we can manage 5, 6, 7 players for 4 positions, I think it's better for us.
The Norwich manager said yesterday that he was very full of praise for Sunderland, but he said there would be certain areas of the pitch he wouldn't want his team to go, which sort of suggests that they may well be a team that sits back and makes life difficult for you in that respect.
I don't know. We'll see on the pitch probably, because I think Norwich is a good team. They press with high intensity, high up in the pitch, so they are good in that part of the game. And with the ball, they have many good qualities as well. So it should be a good challenge again, a tough challenge. And the scenario of a game, so we can start with a game plan, then one team scores and the other has to react. So it's still unpredictable, but this team have many good qualities. Yeah.
You saw 2 sides to your team last weekend. Were you encouraged by what you saw in the second half, in the way that they responded to the deficiencies, if you like, of the first half? And to get that win now gives you that platform to go into these next few games.
Yeah, it was the start was slow, and but for many reasons I think, and we conceded 2 goals on big chance after 3 turnovers, and sometimes it can happen because just a question of one decision, but it doesn't mean that the team wasn't involved at the beginning of the game, but the scenario was like that, and maybe we are a little bit slow. In possession especially. Then the second half, because I felt on the bench, we felt with the staff that we were close to our direct opponent, and it was possible to win away, and because we had good qualities, we had a team to manage the situation, but we were 2-0 down, then 2-1, and probably the last 4 or 5 games we were not very clinical in the finishing zone, but the confidence was here. Just we were in the game and we have to play our game, and so it wasn't really a surprise. I was happy at the end of the game because we won, but I felt the confidence and the character, the resilience were important, and I think that team showed before that we had this quality, for example against Stoke or against Bristol. So now it's a question of new scenarios, new experience, 5 games in a short period, so it will be different probably.
But there are reports that you're looking for another coach. I know you brought in Pedro recently, and you touched on set pieces and having a set piece coach. Are you looking for another addition to the coaching staff?
We are still aware about what we can improve as a staff, but probably the main priority right now is not that one. Even if in the background, behind the scene, we can manage different options. So it's still an option to improve the staff and the workflow and so on. But the priority right now is to prepare the game, play the game, analyze and prepare the next one, and we'll have a transfer window very close. So this is our main focus right now.
I know you touched on it a fair bit in the last few weeks about looking for a forward. Is that still very much your focus in the January window, is to get someone in at the top end of the pitch?
Yes, probably we will have a specific attention about one or two players who can help, but it's not an easy task because the group is strong with many young players, many young surprises maybe because some of them were not expected to play at that level, and because they had opportunities to play, I think this is the identity of the club. They showed that they were able to play at that level. So now it's a question of consistency, injuries, and opportunities as well. Because it's a question of connection. It's not one more player. It's a player who has to fit with the project, Sunderland, the dynamic of the team, and so on. So it's not an easy task.
You've been here nearly half a season now. I mean, that by Sunderland standards, that's quite a milestone. So. Of the first half of the season, you talked about atmosphere at stadiums and the clubs you've been to. Is there any that stand out for you? Are there any moments in this first half of the season that you look back on and think, well, that was a great day, or you enjoyed it?
Yeah, the 6 months were just a period really, because were very impressive for me. I really enjoyed the connection with the people, with the project, with the players, with all the people around the team, and like here, for example. And it's not often in our job, because our job is very unstable. You mentioned it very clearly. And when you can enjoy this period, you have to enjoy it really, because it's not often. And but if it can last, why not? We'll see, because you know that football is still unpredictable. And at least if I'm focused on my job and I try my best, I think it's the best thing.
Is it what you expected it to be? Because you've talked about France and like your season here not really starting until about 20 games in, because it's such a long season here compared to what you've been used to.
I mentioned it before. I think I had no real expectation because of I knew a little bit Sunderland, but when you are in the building, when you train with the team, when you manage many situations, it's the reality, and the reality is really different. And probably the reality of now will be different in 2 or 3 or 5 months. So it's always evolving, and. The club is massive, the expectations are huge, important, but it's football, and I think here we can feel the passion and the way the people like the club and football in general.
You've no doubt seen Niall Quinn is here in the building, someone who's got a big connection with the club. Just chatting to him before, and he said that he feels that the club is in a very good place at the minute. You understand the model, you understand where it's aiming to be, the feeling throughout the academy. He said when he was here, it was always it was quiet, it was deserted, but he said there's a buzz about the place now. Do you understand that? Do you see where he's coming from in that respect?
Yes, probably we can feel this energy in the club now, and probably we can feel that we are sharing a whole project. It's not only the professional team, it's a shared ambition, I think, and sometimes you can feel this alignment, and it's the case right now. So probably the team is still not in pole position to be promoted, because we are still a young team, but we can feel the process and the commitment to progress, and I think it's the best way, to improve and to feel good energy in the club.
Rajesh, you mentioned a couple of times there the fact you've got 5 games, I think it's in 16 days, the schedule. I mean, even by the championship standards, that's a lot of games in a short time. I wonder what that's like compared to your time over in France this time of year. Is that very different to what you face?
Yeah, really different. It doesn't exist at all. So it would be a new experience, but it's a new experience for Sunderland, but it's a new experience for the other teams. So our opponents will be involved in the same dynamic. So the depth of the squad probably will be important, but it's not just a question of players, but the players involved in the project. And we'll see. I think game by game, because it's very difficult to anticipate problems, issues, or opportunities as well.
So you got more time off in France then over Christmas? Would you get time to rest? Yeah.
7 days.
Yeah.
It's massive.
So you get 7 hours maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Not more.
But I know you probably don't look at the table too much, but when you do look at the table, you see Sheffield United, Leeds, Burnley above you. When you look at their resources compared to yours, how difficult is it going to be to try and keep up with them, to hang on to their coattail?
Yes, it's a part of the problem because we are not in the same place about depth and experiences as well. But this is our model, our identity, and I think we have many strengths, and probably we can have some difficult periods to manage. But at least if we keep the consistency, I think it was the case, even when we struggled to score, for example, the team, I think, managed its identity properly without, how can I say this, being in a big hole. Understand? Everyone is not connected, and you can't feel the way they are connected or not. So they kept the connections. And even if we had many injuries or suspensions, it was the case at Millwall, for example, I remember. And the style of play was the same, even with a completely different team. So I think it's our dynamic, and we have to believe that dynamic could be positive at the end.
Just to sort of pick up from that, how encouraging is it that when there have been problems with the injuries and the suspensions, and even being 2 down at Swansea, the squad seems to be able to come up with solutions to the problems, and how encouraging is that?
I think it's very positive, because it's not a question of complaining or expecting new players. We have solutions inside, and I think when the players and the staff and the club can feel that we have the solution inside rather than searching outside, the responsibility and the commitment are higher, because you know that it depends on you, really. So at that moment, with young players especially, they can feel that we don't have any other choices, so it's up to us to decide if we want to be competitive or not.
Bris, 5 games in just over 2 weeks over the festive period. Have you set yourself a target for the number of wins to maintain your promotion push?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Game by game, I say. And the only focus, because, for example, I think the good example is how we were not clinical, maybe for 4 or 5 games, and if you look at the goal of Dan, you can expect that goal, and where does it come from? It's very difficult to understand why you are clinical in maybe for 2 or 3 games, and why you are not clinical later or before. So, and our only focus is on our process and our game and the way we can manage different situations. I think this week, for example, was very important to reinforce our foundations in many aspects of our game model, to say we are very good here and we have to keep going forward like that. And here we have to manage different options. For example, our offensive set pieces, our throw-ins, for example, we can manage this part of the game in a better way, I think. So this is our main focus, and we'll see after the different scenarios And if they have the confidence, we can manage different situations because we did it before, and we have a very strong shared culture. I think this is my job, and the staff and as a club, to give them the confidence to manage unpredictable situations. Yeah.
How big a challenge will Norwich be then on Saturday?
Another big challenge with a different organization. Our build-up will be very important, I think, in that game, and we don't know how they will organize themselves to manage our strength, because we have to believe that we are strong, especially at home, and probably game by game we'll find new ideas to find solution against us. So we have to manage in real time.
Regis, when you first arrived at Sunderland in the summer, what were your first impressions of the squad? And did you always have a go as to how you wanted them to start playing?
Yes, it was clear in my mind, and I didn't change, I think. So we defined some 5 or 6 ideas in and out of position, and we say that that is the way we want to play, even if we will struggle because, for example, the man for man is very risky, but it's the way we want to defend at home and away, and probably we will concede big chances, even goals, but if we master that phase, it will be a very strong strength for our team, and experiences by experiences. We can learn from positive experiences, but we can learn from negative experiences. For example, at Watford, I remember with the penalty we conceded at the end, it was a shame because we mastered that phase for a long time, but at that moment it was difficult, but we learned from that experience. And now we are getting better. So for me it was clear that the potential of the team was important, but it was important as well to define clear ideas and to keep the consistency as a staff and as a coach, to keep believing that it's the way we want to play, and we will improve with experiences. So I'm not really surprised, I should say, and I am happy with the way they are playing now, really happy.
Well, and just given how well the season has gone so far, do you feel like you have a real bond with the players now because they're adapting to your styles?
Yes, I think it's a part of the style of the identity of the club and the identity of the players. And my job is to understand what they are able to do and to keep the identity until the end, even with problems or difficult periods. So my style is more to understand what are the strengths of the club, the identity of the club, and the strength of the players, and to fit every element together. And when it's difficult, to convince them that it's the right direction.
And so what drives you as a coach on the training field every day? What motivates you?
I like football. I like football. I like football, first of all. I like the game, and I like the connection with people who like football.
Sorry, just quickly.
Yeah.
Just ask, is he any closer to the player?
We hope that he is very close to return to train.
Yeah. Not ready to play now.
No, because he was out for 4 months, 5 months now.
Yeah.
But he's in a good place now. He should be back at the end of December, 5 or 6 days more, probably.